In 2023, zero U.S. layoffs were officially blamed on AI. By 2025, that number was 17,000 and climbing weekly. The World Economic Forum projects 92 million jobs gone by 2030. Clerks, accountants, paralegals, analysts. This isn't the future. The extinction already started, and I'm going to show you the exact charts governments are pretending not to see. Let's start with where the bodies are buried. Every advanced economy spent the last 40 years pivoting hard into services, finance, law, consulting, admin, IT. By 2023, services made up 79% of U.S. employment, 81% in the UK, 74% in Germany, 72% in Japan. That's the entire white-collar economy. And it's exactly the layer ChatGPT, Claude, and Copilot are trained to replicate. India sits at just 32%, which is why this video isn't about India. The countries that won the knowledge economy built the perfect target for large language models. They industrialized email, spreadsheets, and PowerPoint, and then handed Silicon Valley the blueprint. The more service-dependent your economy, the more exposed you are. Full stop. Now, the counter-argument I get every time. AI isn't replacing jobs, it's a normal tech cycle. Educated workers will adapt like they always have. Wrong. Here's the smoking gun. Historically, a college degree was a recession shield. Unemployment for advanced degree holders barely moved in 2001, in 2008, or in 2020. But starting in 2023, something snapped. Unemployment among degree holders in the US, UK, and Canada is rising even as overall unemployment stays low. This is the inverse of every prior tech shift. The forklift didn't fire the lawyer. The PC didn't fire the accountant. AI is firing both. When the credential premium collapses while the labor market is otherwise healthy, you're not looking at a business cycle. You're looking at substitution. If you want to know who gets hit first, look at the kids. Entry-level white-collar work, the junior analyst, the paralegal assistant, the customer service rep, the bookkeeper, is the AI kill zone. These are the tasks LLMs do at 90% quality for 0.1% of the cost. And the data is brutal. Youth unemployment in France is over 17%. The UK is climbing. South Korea, an economy built on credentialed knowledge workers, is watching its young graduates locked out. Even in tight U.S. labor markets, recent-grad unemployment now exceeds the national average, a historical anomaly. The bottom rung of the white-collar ladder is being sawed off in real time. There's no career path if there's no first job. Here's where it gets dystopian. If AI were really augmenting workers, we'd see employment and output rising together. That's what augmentation looks like. Instead, GDP per capita is climbing across the US, Korea, and India, while the labor numbers I just showed you are deteriorating. This is the great decoupling. Wealth generation is accelerating while the humans who used to generate it are getting pink slips. The U.S. posted strong per capita GDP growth in 2023 with simultaneously rising degree holder unemployment. That combination has only one explanation. Fewer people are producing more output. That's not augmentation. That's substitution with a PR team. Final piece of evidence. Services as a share of GDP is still going up. 78% in the US, 71% in the UK, 70% in France. The service economy isn't shrinking. It's getting more valuable. But remember Section 1, service employment is flatlining or declining. So, services are generating more wealth with fewer humans. That's the entire definition of an AI productivity shock. Compare that to manufacturing in the 1980s. Output rose, workers fell, and we called it the Rust Belt. We're now building a white-collar Rust Belt in Manhattan, London, and Frankfurt. Except this time, the displaced workers have $200,000 in student debt, and no retraining program. The 2026 acceleration will be worse. Enterprise AI agents go live this year. Governments have published zero serious adjustment policy. Zero. The verdict is simple. AI is not augmenting knowledge work. It's executing it. The data fingerprint is unmistakable. Services generate more wealth, employ fewer people, degree holders are losing jobs in an expansion, and young graduates can't get hired. This is the fastest white-collar contraction in modern economic history, and 2026 is the inflection point when AI agents go from demo to deployment. The WEF says 92 million jobs by 2030. Based on these curves, that's the optimistic scenario. And not a single G7 government has a real policy response. Not retraining, not UBI, not redistribution. Nothing. They're betting your career on a soft landing the data says isn't coming. If you want the charts the headlines won't show you, subscribe. No opinions, no vibes, just the World Bank, the BLS, and the receipts. I publish one data-driven breakdown a week on the economic shifts that are actually happening, not the ones politicians want you to see.